So I wanted to talk to you guys about financial literacy. So many of us don't get that kind of education. You go to school and they give you the quadratic formula. I don't think you're using that in your adulthood. Pythagorean theorem, no. Then you go to social studies class and they tell you to recite a poem like this. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But what was Christopher Columbus to you? So you're reading these history books and there's no mention of General Toussaint. There's no mention of General Jean-Jacques Dessalines. There's no mention of Marcus Messiah Garvey. There's no mention of Madam C.J. Walker. Very little mention of Sojourner Truth. It's like they skip 100 years and they just tell us about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. But what I say we do, as far as immediately with imperativeness, is we get on board with this secondary education. And that's our duty at night to teach our kids who they are. So what happened to me was, my parents, they came from Haiti in 1974. I'm the first generation born in America. Everyone in my immediate family was all born in Haiti. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. And when I came, all my dad knew was education is the way to go. Education is the way to go. Education is the way to go. But when I went to school, I started to fail when I realized that school was leading me towards failure. I didn't become a true scholar until I decided to teach myself everything the school didn't want me to learn. All right. That was when I took it upon myself to go to the library and get books on investing. That was when I took it upon myself to learn how to write grants, how to look for capital investors. That was when I took it upon myself to develop my financial lexicon. I wanted to know things like assets. I wanted to understand tax laws. I wanted to understand things that would help me in my adulthood, not to pass a class. Another thing that I started to notice was all my teachers couldn't relate to me because when they left at 3 o'clock, they went up in the hills. Another thing that I started to notice was all the businesses that I was patronizing. I was giving my money to people who took that money out of the community and went up in the hills. This started to bother me. I looked around and I just seen desolate corners with broken men. A lot of broken men. Anytime I wanted to ask for a job, I would have to go to someone who didn't look like me. This is a problem. What our young people need to do right now, again, with imperativeness, is start getting that entrepreneurial spirit back again. So, as it may be, the most prosperous time for African Americans in America with 3 Ks was the Roaring 20s, correct?
Correct.
Black men and women were making their own clothes. They were making their own shoes. We had tailor shops, laundromats, dry cleaners, car wash. You name it, we did it. Today, tell me where you see that at. I live in Los Angeles right now. And I'll tell you straight up, you're no longer in the working class. In fact, it's so bad. Before there was a time, there's a phrase they used to call pounding the pavement, where you would get up in your threads, you would have a resume and a cover letter in that briefcase or whatever that bag you had, and you would pound the pavement. You would go to business. Hey, you hiring? Hey, look, this is what I can do. I'll be on time. I'm a hard worker. Give me a shot. Here's my resume. If they said no, okay, you went to the next building. But you were able to pound the pavement. Today, you cannot do that. Because when you go to that building, instead of that person who's not going to hire you, she's just going to point to a sign that's going to say, www.wedon'thirenegroes.com. So again, we need to take it upon ourselves to develop our financial lexicon and start creating businesses for ourselves. That way we have leverage. Leverage is a part of wealth. My acronym for wealth is wellness, the W. Wellness, being your state of well-being. The E, enterprise, meaning ownership. You have something that you own and control. It's yours. The A is for attitude. Attitude being a positive attitude. Your manners, your decorum. Amen. The L, again, leverage. If this sister knows how to do hair, and this brother here has a clothing shop, hey, I'll give you 2 shirts, you do my hair. Leverage. The T is for time. You see, time is precious. Time is not money. Time is life. Time, once it passes, you don't get that back. So we have to take the time right now with urgency to start getting into the mindset of creating generational wealth. And lastly, the H is for your health. Your health is a state of well-being. You ever heard of clean bill of health? Yes. That means that tab is already paid for. No money comes out. Now, one thing I can say for certain that happened to me that changed my life was I found a mentor. This is very important and very key, because what a mentor allows you to do is they allow you to sit and watch. You're getting a learning experience in terms of what it takes to be successful. Now, my mentor, he had 2 really cool businesses, but the one is the one I modeled my first company after. He used to carve wood. He made his own furniture. He didn't go to any of these stores and shovel out $400. He made better product in his garage than anybody who could sell something to him. That's wealth, because that money stayed in his pocket and it went to his family. Generational wealth, teaching our young people our history, our proud history. You see, I was fortunate. I didn't learn about Zeus. I learned about Toussaint. I learned about the phrase coupe tête, boule caille, meaning cut their heads and burn their homes. I learned about enslaved Africans kicking the French, the Spanish, and the English out of an island that they got transplanted at, and then claiming it for their own. I didn't have Hulk Hogan on my wall. I had Jean-Jacques Dessalines on my wall. You see, I didn't have Superman and Batman. I had Marcus Messiah Garvey to look up to. These are the things that we need to implement in the home, so when they step out, they're better prepared for the world. Because everybody else that we can think of have their people that they can look up to. But for some reason, they constantly force feed us Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, people that don't look like you. They have television shows that make a mockery of you, and you watch it. Anytime you see shows like Lucifer being promoted, it's time to turn off the TV. Anytime you see shows like Empire that is persuading our young people to sell drugs and do rap music and coon out and be walking minstrels, it's time to turn off the TV. The real knowledge is in the book. It's something powerful about flipping through those pages and looking at the depth of the pages that you done read and letting those words permeate in your brain. I'm gonna tell you something straight up. Education is immutable.